Have you ever wondered how Amish families double their harvests, spending only $3 on soil while most gardeners waste hundreds on fertilizers, seeing zero results? Most people think healthy soil requires expensive amendments, but simple biological activation methods and ancient layering techniques make it possible. And today, I'm showing you 10 of them. The Nettle Tea Activator Fresh stinging nettles packed tightly into 5-gallon buckets and steeped for 2 weeks create the most powerful free liquid fertilizer available anywhere. The resulting liquid contains concentrated nitrogen, iron, magnesium, and potassium in perfectly plant available form. Pennsylvania families have brewed nettle tea continuously since 1750s settlements. Ohio State University's 2019 soil biology research found nettle tea increasing soil microbial activity by 300%. Dilute 1 part tea to 10 parts water before applying directly to soil weekly. 1 bucket treats the entire garden for 4 complete weeks. Nettles grow completely free along fence lines requiring absolutely zero purchase. Compare that to liquid fertilizers costing 25 per bottle, lasting only 3 weeks. The wood ash application system. Let me ask you something. Does heating your home through winter simultaneously fertilize your entire garden for the following season at zero cost? Wood ash collected from cook stoves provides concentrated potassium, calcium, and trace minerals in every handful. Apply 1 cup per square foot across garden beds until spring before planting begins. The ash raises soil pH, naturally correcting acidic conditions that prevent nutrient uptake regardless of fertility present. Indiana families save every ash produced from October heating through April without exception. Michigan State University's 2019 soil chemistry research found wood ash application doubling potassium availability in severely depleted soil. Potassium deficiency causes yellowing leaves, poor fruit development, and weak stems throughout the entire season. Correcting potassium deficiency through wood ash costs $0 annually. Never apply during rainfall as ash nutrients leach immediately into groundwater before plants access them. 1 complete winter's ash production from a single cook stove treats the entire family garden space. The buried kitchen scrap method, burying kitchen scraps directly into garden soil, feeds soil biology faster and more effectively than any composting method requiring weeks of waiting. Dig 12-inch trenches between existing plant rows throughout the garden. Bury vegetable scraps, used coffee grounds, and crushed eggshells directly into the trench without any pre-composting. Cover immediately with soil, preventing pest attraction and odor. Earthworms migrate toward buried scraps within 48 hours, creating concentrated fertility zones directly in the root area. Wisconsin's 2018 soil biology research found direct burial, increasing earthworm populations by 400% around burial sites. Worm activity around buried scraps creates fertility zones that plant roots actively grow toward and into. Eggshells provide calcium that prevents devastating blossom end rot in tomatoes and peppers. Coffee grounds provide nitrogen while attracting beneficial soil fungi that improve overall garden productivity. Vegetable scraps release nutrients steadily over 3 weeks, providing sustained feeding rather than single dose application. No composting time gets wasted because this method works immediately upon burial without any delay. Indiana families bury kitchen scraps throughout their entire garden weekly throughout the growing season. The comfrey chop and drop system comfrey plants accumulate minerals from 10 feet deep through their extraordinary taproots, bringing nutrients completely unavailable to shallow-rooted vegetables to the surface. Minerals locked in subsoil layers beyond any vegetable root reach become fully accessible through comfrey's biological mining operation. Chop mature comfrey leaves monthly throughout the growing season and drop them directly around plant bases without any processing. Decomposing leaves release concentrated minerals directly into the root zone within 2 weeks. Penn State University's 2019 soil nutrition research found comfrey leaves containing more available potassium than any commercial fertilizer product. Tested. 1 established comfrey plant provides sufficient fertility mulch for 10 square feet of intensive production continuously. Plant comfrey once and harvest free fertility forever because established plants never require replanting. Comfrey taproots penetrate 6 feet deep, accessing subsoil phosphorus, potassium, calcium, and magnesium completely unavailable to any vegetable crop. Lancaster families plant comfrey borders around every single garden bed, using border space that produces fertility without sacrificing any productive ground. Leaves get harvested 4 to 6 times annually from each established plant. Complete decomposition takes 2 weeks, releasing nutrients in perfect timing for actively growing plants. The initial cost runs $3 for a single comfrey root cutting purchased once returning $200 or more annually in fertilizer replacement value every subsequent season. The mycorrhizal inoculation technique. Now, here's what makes this even more effective than any purchased fertilizer program available at any price. Point. Mycorrhizal fungi form underground networks, extending effective root reach 100 times beyond the physical root system visible when plants get transplanted. Amish families inoculate every transplant using a completely homemade method requiring no purchased products. Take a single handful of soil from an established productive garden bed that has grown food successfully for multiple seasons. Mix that handful directly into the planting hole before setting the new transplant. Existing beneficial fungi colonize new transplant roots within 7 days, establishing complete network connections. Cornell University's 2019 soil biology research found mycorrhizal inoculation increasing nutrient uptake by 60% in inoculated plants compared to non-inoculated controls. Commercial mycorrhizal inoculant products cost $25 per application, providing identical results to this free soil transfer technique. The underground fungi networks actually share nutrients between connected plants across the entire garden simultaneously. Struggling plants receive biological support from healthy neighboring plants through these shared fungal networks. Networks get completely destroyed by tilling and require 2 full years to rebuild from scratch. India's families never ever till established garden beds specifically to protect existing fungal network investments built over years. Ohio communities document gardens with 20-year-old intact fungal networks, producing measurably more than younger networks in identical soil conditions. Production increases annually as these networks mature, expand, and connect more plants into the shared biological system. The biochar and compost combination, biochar alone, provides permanent housing structures for soil biology, but delivers no food supporting that biology. Compost alone provides excellent food for soil biology, but creates limited long-term permanent housing. Combined together, these two materials create a perfect permanent soil improvement system addressing both biological needs simultaneously. Produce biochar from brush piles and orchard prunings burned in low oxygen conditions using a simple retort. A basic retort, constructed from a 55-gallon steel drum, costs $20 as a completely one-time investment. Charge finished biochar by mixing equal parts with finished compost before any garden application. Apply the charged mixture at 2 inches depth across the entire garden surface before planting each season. Michigan State University's 2020 soil science research found the biochar and compost combination increasing crop yields by 45% over compost applications alone. Biochar persists in soil for 1,000 years, creating permanent structural improvement requiring only a single application. Compost breaks down annually, requiring replacement, while biochar investment from today improves soil for generations of future farmers. Wisconsin families document biochar amended gardens consistently outperforming non-amended beds by 30% after a full decade of side-by-side comparison. Nutrient retention increases by 300% in biochar amended soils, preventing fertilizers from leaching away before plants access them. Every subsequent amendment applied to biochar soil generates greater returns than identical amendments applied to unamended soil. Indiana families produce biochar annually from orchard prunings and brush pile cleanups using zero purchased materials and creating zero waste. The deep aeration without tilling. Let me ask you something most people never consider. Can soil structure improve dramatically without the destructive tilling that kills the very biology responsible for producing those improvements? A broad fork driven 12 inches deep loosens severe compaction completely without inverting soil layers and destroying fungal networks below. Inverted soil from standard tilling destroys established fungal networks, requiring 2 full years to rebuild before providing benefits again. The broad fork lifts and loosens compacted soil without flipping layers, maintaining the precise biological structure that took years developing. Ohio State University's 2018 soil structure research found broad forking increasing water infiltration rates by 200% in compacted garden beds. Water reaching roots faster prevents the surface runoff that wastes 60% of rainfall before it ever reaches plant roots. Compacted soil causes 60% of all rainfall to run off the surface without penetrating to root zones. Broad fork aeration gets performed once each spring in 20 minutes per 100 square feet of garden area. Daikon radish planted in fall performs the identical aeration function through the entire winter season without any human labor. Radish taproots penetrate 18 inches deep, physically breaking through hardpan layers that restrict drainage and root growth. After autumn frost kills the radish plants, they rot in place, leaving perfect aeration channels through the soil profile. Those channels remain open through spring, providing drainage paths that prevent waterlogging during wet seasons. Pennsylvania families combine spring broadfork aeration with fall daikon radish planting, addressing both seasons completely through two zero-cost techniques. Earthworm populations increase by 200% in properly aerated no-till soil compared to annually tilled ground. Earthworms provide continuous biological aeration year-round between annual broadfork treatments. Each earthworm processes surrounding soil, continuously creating stable aggregates that improve drainage and water retention simultaneously. The leaf mold preparation system fall and autumn leaves represent the most abundant free soil amendment available annually that most gardeners bag, discard, and then spend money replacing with purchased alternatives. Leaf mold produced by composting leaves alone creates the finest soil, conditioner available regardless of price or source. Stack collected autumn leaves in a simple wire cage 4 feet in diameter requiring only wire, fencing, and 2 posts. Wet the pile thoroughly and allow it to decompose completely undisturbed for 12 months. Finished leaf mold resembles dark, crumbly forest floor material with an earthy woodland smell indicating complete biological transformation. Michigan State University's 2019 soil amendment research found leaf mold improving water retention by 400% in sandy soil that previously dried within hours of watering. Sandy soil transforms into productive moisture-retaining ground within a single growing season of leaf mold application. Clay soil drainage improves dramatically after leaf mold incorporation, reducing waterlogging that kills roots during wet springs. Leaf mold maintains a neutral pH, making it suitable for all vegetable crops without any adjustment. Apply a 3-inch layer across the entire garden surface before planting season begins each year. Work gently into the top 6 inches without deep tilling that would destroy existing fungal networks. The abundant autumn supply means unlimited free amendment becomes available every single year without purchasing anything. One mature oak tree produces enough leaves annually to treat 500 square feet of garden beds. Lancaster families collect leaves from neighboring properties, extending free material far beyond their own tree canopy. Neighbors feel genuinely grateful when someone removes their autumn leaf accumulation problem. Collection requires only a farm truck and 2 hours on a single October Saturday. Leaf mold also suppresses weed germination more effectively than any purchased mulch product. Ohio families consistently report 70% reductions in weeding time after consistent leaf mold application. Reduced weedings saves 40 hours of labor annually per 1,000 square feet, representing $400 in labor value at minimum wage rates. The worm casting top dressing worm castings represent the most concentrated biological fertilizer available anywhere on Earth, containing 5 times more nitrogen than surrounding soil in immediately plant available form, 7 times more phosphorus, and 11 times more potassium than unfertilized soil make castings irreplaceable in any serious biological growing program. Ohio State University's 2018 vermiculture research found worm casting application consistently increasing crop yields by 25% across all vegetable types tested. Apply a half-inch layer across the entire garden surface monthly throughout the active growing season. Work the casting layer gently into the top inch without disturbing established root zones developing below. Monthly application maintains consistent biological activity throughout the entire season without gaps. A single application fades after 4 weeks, requiring consistent monthly replenishment to maintain full biological effectiveness. A homeworm bin produces sufficient castings for 200 square feet of garden monthly from a single small setup. The bin gets constructed from a simple wooden box costing only $15 in basic materials available at any lumber yard. Red wiggler worms convert daily kitchen scraps into premium castings continuously without any management beyond feeding. 1 pound of worms processes half a pound of scraps, daily producing a quarter pound of finished castings. A family of 6 generates sufficient food scraps to feed 10 pounds of working worms. 10 pounds of worms produce 5 pounds of castings daily throughout the year. Annual production reaches 900 pounds of castings, valued at $22,500 at commercial retail pricing. Indiana families maintain dedicated worm bins specifically for their highest value intensive garden beds. Castings get reserved for the highest value crops, maximizing return on casting production investment. Tomatoes, peppers, And cucumbers receive priority casting applications, while lower value crops receive diluted worm tea instead. Worm tea produced from bin drainage liquid provides equally powerful biological feeding as liquid application. Dilute 10 parts water to 1 part tea and apply directly to soil during weekly watering rounds. The complete $3 soil transformation system. The entire $3 investment purchases a single comfrey root cutting that initiates the complete biological cascade transforming any soil into productive ground. Every other component in this complete system gets sourced entirely free from existing farm and household resources already available without any additional spending. Nettle tea from Fenceline. Nettles cost zero beyond the labor of gathering and steeping. Wood ash from the heating stove costs zero as an inevitable byproduct of winter warming. Kitchen scraps from daily cooking cost zero as unavoidable household waste requiring disposal anyway. Leaf mold from autumn leaves costs zero as seasonal abundance most neighbors actively want removed. Worm castings from composted kitchen scraps cost zero beyond the initial $15 worm bin construction. Biochar from farm brush piles costs zero as a productive conversion of waste material. The total ongoing annual cost after the initial $3 comfrey investment reaches $0 every subsequent year. Cornell University's 2020 Biological Farming Economics research found biological systems outperforming chemical fertility programs by 200% across 10-year comparisons. Chemical fertility programs cost $400 to $800 annually per thousand feet of garden. The complete biological system described throughout this video costs $3 in the first year and nothing in every year following. Results comparison after 3 years shows the biological system clearly outperforming equivalent chemical programs. Year 1, the biological system matches chemical program results during transition establishment. Year 2, the biological system exceeds chemical program performance by 20% as biology matures. Year 3, the biological system exceeds chemical performance by 45% as compounding biological improvements accumulate. Biological systems improve measurably every single year, while chemical systems require constantly increasing inputs just to maintain plateau results. Ohio families document progressive annual improvement across decade-long biological programs. The same families using chemical programs report production plateaus, then gradual decline without expensive input increases. Biology builds on itself, creating compounding annual returns completely impossible to replicate with chemical programs. The $3 investment in a single comfrey root starts the biological cascade that improves indefinitely without any further financial investment required. These 10 methods prove that doubling harvests requires only $3 in initial investment when biological soil systems replace expensive chemical fertilizer programs that deplete the very soil they claim to feed.